welcome back to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy you're here. Thank you so much. Hey, it's time for garden questions and answers. You got a question, send it on over to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com, or toll free coast to coast at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. You can check out all those sponsors you hear in the program during the breaks, and we thank you for hanging out with us between those breaks, because those individuals pay for the airtime so you can hear us on your favorite station each week, March through October. Let's go to the hotline. We got a question here in regards to some plant growing problems.
My name's Anthony. I'm from the Pittsburgh area, and I was calling about, I just planted my garlic, and should I fertilize it or not? And I haven't been able to grow green beans for 3 years. Should I fertilize them also? Or any vine products haven't been growing for me, including cucumbers or zucchini, but I do not fertilize. Thank you.
Well, Anthony, thank you for calling in with your question. And when you plant your garlic here this fall, do not fertilize it. We don't want to fertilize garlic in the fall because we don't want it to get accelerated and start growing excessively before it goes into dormancy during the winter months. As the spring breaks in the next year, that is when we can add a liquid fertilizer, or we can top dress around our garlic with compost. And compost also can be used for the issues in which you have addressed.
If you top dress with the compost, you want to cultivate it in. So you use a little 3-prong cultivator tool, and you kind of mix it in.
Well, now this is in
the roots.
Around the garlic. You can just top dress it and water it.
Oh, yeah. But like
before you plant the other areas, you want to stir it in, mix it in. Right.
Same thing with fertilizer. Yeah. So you would definitely want to fertilize everything in the spring, including where you're going to plant the green beans, cucumbers, etc. If you haven't had luck in 3 years, it's really likely that you may even need a soil test to figure out what you want to add to it, or what would be good for it. If you don't want to go through a soil test, you could just find a nice all-purpose fertilizer like a 10-10-10, and I would recommend using a granular for wherever you're going to plant your beans, cucumbers, etc. A liquid is a little bit better for on the garlic.
You can get a soil test from soilsavvy.com. Soilsavvy.com. They will give you order it, they send it out to you, and then it will give you 16 you do what the instructions indicate, and it will send it back to their lab, and they will email you, and it will give you 16 points of analyzation of what you should do, what you should stop doing, how to go about doing it, and how to do all the things that you need to in order to help get your soil back to where it needs to be. So mysoilsavvy.com. Fertilize not only with compost, because it seems like there's long-term issue here. Compost in the spring, and then add that organic granular fertilizer, no more than a 10-10-10. Otherwise, you're just wasting your money, and because you're getting too much fertilizer, and it's not going to be able to be utilized during the growing season. I grew a clipping of a raspberry bush in a big planter this summer. Didn't want to spread, so I kept it in the planter. I decided where it would permanently be planted, spot soon to be. Any suggestions on how do I overwinter it in the pot?
So
to survive
survive winter in a pot, the whole pot would be had to put into the ground up to its rim, so you can cover. So once you have the plant, so you dig a hole that's deep enough for the pot to fit in. So you want to make
preferably beside, like if it's going to be a north facing wind, preferably on the south side of a building, so it doesn't get
as
aggressive, right?
Or you could maybe put like a little.
Well, you want to cover it with thick layers of mulch and leaves. And
so once you put it in the soil, the pot itself, then you would want to make sure you are
make a cage.
Make like a cage and put all of the leaves and mulch and whatnot. And then you would want to make sure you're putting fencing so the rabbits do not feed on it, because the rabbits can.
They will feed on it.
They'll eat they'll feed on it. So yeah.
Okay, what can I add to my raised bed soil mix to make it drain better? I was thinking of sand. We talked about this in the first segment, but not sure if it has to be a specific type of sand. Trying not to make this super costly. Well, we talked about we don't want to add sand because sand and clay plus water equals adobe or a concrete material. So what you want to do is first, before you...
First of all, my question is...
Yes.
Is why, like, if it's a raised bed garden soil mix... It doesn't need... It shouldn't need anything to be
We have had questions on this program where they've built a raised bed and then took loose ground soil and filled the raised bed with it. Okay. So, which is defeating the purpose of a raised bed.
But it says a raised garden soil mix.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
which that can be crummy soil too. We've talked about that.
Right. That's true. So anyway, you don't want to add sand. What you want to do is mix in 2 to 3 inches of compost, and then you want to drill holes in the bottom or near the bottom of the bed.
Before you add the compost.
Yeah, before.
Preferably with a planting auger. And the reason why you want to pierce that ground beneath the raised bed is to get that mixture. You can do 8 or 9 holes wherever in order to kind of get that to work into the into the ground soil and help with the drainage as well. So that will work quite well. You can also use perlite and vermiculite. Those are 2 natural ways of helping aerate the soil, add drainage to the soil. But it seems to me, based on the question, that there is an issue with the actual ground underneath the raised bed if it is not draining very good.
Then the holes, you could do holes along the side of the
right,
and the lower part.
But yeah, it's a very dense soil. But digging them holes, that will help get that compost in there, and the microbes will help break apart and cause better drainage. Okay, has anyone ever grown garlic directly in their strawberry patches? Looking to do this to save space, and I'm not going to plant many. Just want to plant a few.
I don't see why you couldn't. You just want to think about the spacing. So you want to make sure you are properly spacing them. They take about 1 square foot. You don't want to crowd them in. And strawberries usually bloom end of June, mid to end of June. And garlic is pretty much usually ready by then, so it shouldn't be a problem. You want
to plant it in a place where when you dig that garlic up, that you're not going to
disturb it too much.
The roots of the strawberry plants, right?
So that's something to keep in mind. People say that it can be a good companion plant for strawberries. Garlic is. I would try it if I was trying to maximize my garden space. Stuff like this is how you get good maximization out of your garden space. If you don't have a lot of it, it really can be helpful. Well,
yeah, you're planting the garlic in October, November, and it's staying there till June, some even July. So there's a lot of real estate that is used up. So if you can figure out a place in the strawberry patch or between the strawberry rows, or if you've got a flower bed in the front or the side of the house somewhere where you can throw 5 or a dozen bulbs or cloves in, that works just as well. You're utilizing that aspect of it.
And there's nothing wrong with holding off on planting some tomatoes after you harvest your garlic. Those tomatoes will be just fine. You want to make sure you can get access to them. So starting those tomatoes, we start plenty, and we've done that where we've harvested the potatoes. We planted the potatoes like April, and they came out in June, and then we had excess tomatoes that we dropped in so we could get more tomatoes in the later portions. Also, in areas where we've had garlic, we have pulled that garlic out in June, mid-June, early July, and dropped potatoes in for a 90-day fall harvest of potatoes as well. So I don't know where this person is, but for us, our falls have shifted quite a bit, where it seems like what used to be mid-September temperatures are now moving to early October. So it's getting warmer longer. Yeah, it's getting warmer longer. So planting things a little bit later in the year, you're going to have a later harvest, and that's okay. More time.